So first of all, one resource that we've had since the beginning and inception of Arizona Online is the Arizona Online Launchpad. It's a student resource hub for our students that is set up in D2L. So it's like a non-credit course. And it's is available for our students throughout their time with us. It offers some specialized services, including technology tutorials and other things that help our students to get initially acclimated into the online student environment. But we also have regular announcements in there, as well as widgets for some of our other social media hubs, and keep an active calendar in that space. Secondly, I want to mention to you all the Smarter Measures student readiness assessment that all of our online students have access to in the Next Step Center. It basically gives our students a report on their strengths and opportunities for improvement as they enter their student life with us. That assessment is a national assessment, so it is not just comparing it the student scores for our students here at the U of A, but nationally, and our online student success coaches have it available also for them. It's also available in Trellis for advisors to see. So it's a good resource to see how our students are faring and when they first come in with us. And then we can have a robust conversation with our students to talk through it if they have questions about it. We also offer our online mentoring service called MentorCats. And basically, it's a peer mentoring service that all online undergraduate and graduate students are invited into. There's two cohorts, one for undergrads and one for grads. We have about 10% of our online students participate in the mentoring program, whether that's as a mentee, mentor, or both. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned previously, we have a few social media engagement spaces for our students. We have a private Facebook group, as well as a Discord server for our students. We regularly inform our students about this in our online Wildcat newsletter, as well as in the Launchpad and other spaces that we interact with to provide a different avenue for our students outside of the classroom and also mentoring. And we also have student leaders who help us in this space to manage it and keep it active. And lastly, I want to mention to you about non-degree seeking advisors, advising within Arizona Online. So our online student success coaches also serve as non-degree seeking advisors for our students, help with our students get acclimated and registered and do their transfer credit review. And additionally, as they advise our students, they also support our NDS students to transition in the becoming a degree-seeking student if they're eligible, or when they become eligible, or if they so desired, because some of our NDS students don't actually come to get a degree with us, but some of them already have a degree and may use it as a way to do a few credits to apply to professional programs and graduate programs. So those were some of our unique services. And lastly, our last slide has our contact information with our email, has our website for our MentorCats program, as well as the discovery link for Launchpad. And if you ever wonder where Arizona Online is located, we're in the Refinery Building on Idea Lane, which is down on South Kino Parkway. So if you've passed Costco, you've gone too far. It's the building with the big A. So
Thank you, Heidi.
Ever there. Next person. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter. All right, our Basic Needs Center. Peter, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, welcome. Okay, you're up.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pete McGraw. I'm speaking today on behalf of our Basic Needs Center here at the university, and that's comprised of two programs. The first would be Campus Pantry, and the second is Campus Closet. Both programs operate very similarly. Campus Pantry offers supplemental groceries to anyone on campus with a CAT card, so that's staff, faculty, and students. And Campus Closet offers clothing to the same group, staff, faculty, and students. All you need to access these services is just your CAT card, and the hours are listed there. So Campus Pantry is open 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Campus Closet is open 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at the same time as Campus Pantry to make it easier for folks. Campus Closet is open twice, but we do ask that folks come once per week. Visits are limited to once per week. And then for Campus Pantry, we're open 3 days, but visits are limited per person to 2 visits per week, just to make sure we have enough for everyone who wants to come through that week. So again, all you need is your CAT card. And at Campus Pantry, we ask that you bring a reusable bag with you just to take your groceries. But both programs are absolutely free. Again, all you need is a CAT card, and you can visit us. We're located on the very ground floor of the Student Union across from the esports arena. So we hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, Pete. All right, up next we have Campus Health. Carrie?
Hi, good morning. Ooh, hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Carrie and I work over at Campus Health. Going to get this information to you in 3 minutes. So Campus Health, we can go to the next slide, really focuses on medical, mental health, and wellness services for students and staff. So that means all of you have access to Campus Health, and I'll talk a little bit about that on the next slide. We really like to think of ourselves as the go-to for health and wellness on campus. We know health isn't usually the first thing people think about. Usually something happens and you're like, oh, I have a stuffy nose. Man, that stinks. What do I do about that? Ooh, I might need my flu shot. Oh, I might need to talk with a counselor. So we have lots of programs to support students that I'll show on the next slide. But key information for you all as advisors to know is we have in-person virtual visits. So we kind of work with the student to reduce barriers to get care. Students do not need health insurance to use Campus Health. We participate with some major plans, but we also offer a student discounted rate for students, and all of that fee information is posted online. A lot of the costs are competitive with the community or even less expensive. So we, again, want to reduce barriers for students to get care. We support main campus and Arizona online students. There is a little asterisk for that. In order to seek services, they have to do a couple extra things. They need to be in Arizona because of licensure with our providers. And there is a different daily user fee applied, but more information can be found on our website. Something that's really cool is we all have the same goal: advisors, Campus Health, all these support services. We want students to thrive and succeed here at the U of A and stay here and graduate. So 97% of students who use any of Campus Health services said that we helped keep them here at the U of A, which is pretty cool. Next slide, please. So we have lots and lots of services in one place, which is super convenient for students. They are all listed up here, so I won't read them. I will highlight a few. So counseling and psych services, also known as CAPS, it's our mental health branch. So they offer as needed counseling. They also, this year is new, they're offering free groups and workshops, which is wonderful. They have care coordination, they have survivor support, and a lot of other services to support students' mental health. Really want to highlight our same day clinic, which kind of functions just like you would think in urgent care. If something comes up, this is available. All these services are available for employees too. So all of you sitting in this room and everybody online, you can use all of these services. Except for our counseling center and our nutrition services, we have opportunities through Life and Work Connections to get support in those areas. But as staff, you can come in same day, you can make an appointment with a provider, and typically out in the community, it could be weeks or months. Physical therapy, we have primary care. So really anything a student might need when they're here, we can help them with that, or we can get them referred off campus. 96% of students who use our services would recommend us, which is pretty cool. All right, next slide, please. Oh, good. I did it in 3 minutes. So there's a lot more to say about Campus Health. I do want to highlight we have 3 different locations. So Campus Health Main is located on the south side of campus. That has CAPS and all those services I listed. We also have a CAPS location, CAPS North in North Rec, which is on an honors village over there. And kind of in the middle of campus, we have our health promotion hideaway on the first floor of the Bear Down building, where they do lots of outreach and programming. They have kittens that come in, therapy dogs, art workshops, all to get students connected with one another, support their mental health, and support their health and wellness. As academic advisors, if you're ever concerned about one of your students' mental health, we have a call and consult program, and that is free for faculty and staff. You can call CAPS, their main number, and say, hey, I'm kind of concerned about a student, not sure what to do. And some of our mental health providers can kind of walk you through how to navigate that process. There's tons of information online, but just want to keep it short and plug our social media channels. Encourage you to follow it, stay up to date with everything that's going on at Campus Health. And if you ever have questions, I run it, so you can just send the account a direct message and you'll be asking me. There's a question. Yeah. Correct. So our pharmacy did close as of last year. So we no longer offer pharmacy services, but our providers can write prescriptions for prescriptions that students need. And students, the closest pharmacy is going to be the CVS on Euclid and University. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Next, we have CATS Academics, and we have Jennifer Muse. Ready, Jennifer?
I'm ready. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jennifer Muse. I'm the Senior Associate Director in CATS Academics, and we are the academic support unit that provides support to student athletes here on campus. If you'd go to the next slide, that'd be great. We are located in the Jenny L. Clements Academic Center. It's directly south of McHale. Feel free to stop by if you ever want to come and visit. We're really excited to be in this building. When we first moved in, we were worried that students wouldn't come across the street from McHale, and they have come in droves. They like having a space over here that they can just come in and do their academics and not be distracted by the other things that student athletes have to do while they're here. If you go to the next slide. Just wanted to give you an overview of what our different support services are like and what we do for our student athletes. We have a variety of services. We try and customize based on each student, what their year in school is, what their academic needs are, what kind of challenges they might have, and what kind of risk they might pose in terms of academic eligibility. So, you know, in the olden days, you might have thought of this as study hall, 6 to 8 p.m. every night, but we're very diversified now. So every student's academic support plan looks slightly different. And they have anywhere from 6 to 10 hours of academic support, depending on their needs. Obviously, as students progress in their academic career here and continue to do well, that number goes down. But we have learning specialists, assistant learning specialists. Pretty much every student will have at least one counselor check in every semester. And as a freshman or a new transfer student, they meet weekly. We have study hall. Obviously, our advisors should know that we do have priority registration. So our student athletes do register along with the honor students in that first block of priority registration. So sometimes we expedite those academic advising meetings on a time. In terms of getting that students ready, we were going to be sending our students out much earlier than the freshmen would normally be doing priority registration. We do have a couple focus areas in terms of literacy lab, which focuses on reading and writing. We do offer help sessions, and then obviously we do provide tutoring. And then the other big piece is that we do partner with our campus colleagues in SSRI, so the think tank, SALT Center. You know, if there's ever something that we don't have, we reach out to our colleagues on campus to help provide that academic support for students. In addition, we obviously work very closely with the advisors. The big piece that each counselor over here does is making sure our students are meeting all their academic NCAA eligibility benchmarks. And I won't go into those because there's a lot of them, but that is the big piece, that we're making sure our students are staying on track and meeting all those benchmarks so they don't risk their eligibility. And I think we got one more slide. It's our big promo slide about how excited we are about our success of our student athletes. They continue to do well every semester, particularly since we've moved into this building. I think I'm at my time limit. Awesome.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
And our next presenter, we have the Catalyst Studios. Mona?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Mona Nakamura, and I am the Outreach and Creative Program Specialist over at Catalyst Studios. We are in the main library If you could go to the next slide, please. So sorry about the font. I don't know what happened there, but just a little bit about a makerspace. So essentially what a makerspace is, for those of you guys who might not know, it's a space on campus where we give access to students to high technology that they might not otherwise have access to. So we have things like 3D printers, laser cutters, we have a little wood shop, and we also have access to more introductory machinery like embroidery machines and sewing machines. So essentially what our purpose is on campus is to foster creativity and be a safe space for students to come to express themselves creatively, even if they aren't associated with a specific college. So we are not the only makerspace on campus, but we are the only makerspace on campus that is open to all majors without any restrictions. So the way that we interact with our students is through workshops, certifications, and just being a third space for students to hang out with each other in the main library. If you could go to the next slide, please. So there's 3 ways to interact with Catalyst Studios. You can interact with Catalyst as a patron community member. You can interact with us through curricular engagement if it is embedded in your class. And you can also interact with us through extracurricular activities. So the way we essentially host these things is that a student organization through ASUA will say, hey, I want to host like a team building activity with my organization, and they can come and make t-shirts together. They can come and sew tote bags together. So any kind of creative endeavor that they're hoping for. And then also they can do skill building activities such as learning how to 3D print and learning how to use the wood shop and laser cutter. If you can go to the next slide, please. So a couple of examples of workshops that we have held. We do a tote bag decorating workshop, laser cut, keychain making workshops, screen print, nameplate. So any kind of fun, like creative endeavor that you've always wanted to try out, but have never really had the opportunity to because it was never embedded in your classes. Catalyst Studios is the best way for you to get introduced to a lot of these kinds of activities. If you could go to the next slide. Again, sorry about the font. So the great thing about Catalyst Studios is that it is entirely free. The only thing that we ask you to pay for is materials. But if you are a student, you have a $50 credit that is valid throughout your entire career here at the University of Arizona. And so if there's something that you've always wanted to try, but we're scared to spend your personal money to get to learn the machine, we offer a $50 credit, and that's just automatically available to all students as soon as they walk through the door. So we have weekly certifications on 3D printing, embroidering, soldering, laser, and workshop. And so all anyone would need to do is sign up and register on our website, and then they just show up and all of our student staff will walk you through all of the steps. And so we have engaged with several other campus organizations, and it's just a great way to introduce students to an additional resource that is available on campus. Next slide, please. So yeah, if you can see my email on there, it's mnakamura@arizona.edu or catalyst@email.arizona.edu. We would love to hear from any student who feels like they want to just explore something creatively, even if it's not associated with any specific major. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mona. That's great. Carlos? Up next, Dean of Students. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong one. Cloud. I got ahead of myself. Kim, are you here? Kim Winchell? One more time for Kim. Okay. All right, now we're Dean of Students.
Sweet. So good morning, everyone. Advancing Research Center, thank you for the invites. I really love doing these types of outreach opportunities just so that we can go ahead and explain the Dean of Students mission to the U of A community. So the more people we can impact, the better. But good morning. My name is Armando, and I am with the University of Arizona Dean of Students Office. I do marketing, education, and outreach for the department. And I'm here to talk to you all about what the Dean of Students does, the services we offer, and the many different ways you can connect with us. So one of the biggest things is that the Dean of Students Office is essentially the central support hub for student support. So chances are, if students are bouncing around every single department, and chances are they're probably going to land with us. Why? Well, one of the biggest things is that we provide several resources to meet student needs. So whenever a student is facing a challenge, we all have challenges. Students come from like all over the place. Maybe they're international, domestic, or even out of state. So these challenges may arise at any point in their university careers. And our job as a Dean of Students Office is to get them connected to campus resources. Because students may not be aware of the numerous resources available on campus, but our amazing student assistance team is able to talk with them through a certain process and also help them get connected with whatever answer they may be seeking. Another thing that we do is that we educate in response to policy issues within the University of Arizona. So you might know us as the bad guys, right? Obviously, because we're the Dean of Students Office, we go by the Arizona Board of Regents Standards of Ethical Conduct. So we advocate for academic integrity, code of conduct, and all things like that. But the big misconception here is that we do not get students in trouble. We see this as a learning opportunity for them and educate them on how they can make better decisions that will benefit them throughout their Wildcat journey. And then lastly, we also support the overall health and safety of our university campus because we want to make sure everyone has a great Wildcat journey. So there are a couple of goals that are a little bit beyond our reach. So the biggest thing we do, as I mentioned, is that we get students connected. That means we're not able to provide direct mental health counseling or medical advice because that's a little bit outside our realm. In this instance, we will get them connected to CAPS, Campus Health, or any other resource that may support them at this time. We also try our best to connect them within campus first. And if we cannot find the answer within campus, we can find that off campus. So I like telling people we're basically Google with a university because they come with us with many sorts of questions, and 90% of the time we can get them answered. The other 10% of the time we might not know the answer, but we know the person who does. A couple of other things we are not really able to do is also provide academic advising, but we can provide them with navigation and help them get connected with their instructors and also their academic advisors. We also do not share personal student information with parents, faculty, and staff for FERPA reasons. We also are not able to really represent students in legal situations, but we can help them get connected to a resource that can do. And lastly, we also are not able to complete forms on the student's behalf for the university. And just as a raise of hands, how many of you have heard about Dog Days with the Dean? Ooh, less more than I anticipated. That means I'm not doing my job correctly. But Dog Days with the Dean is essentially one of our favorite events we have on a weekly basis. It helps with students' mental health. It's a great space for students. They make lifelong relationships here. And essentially, it's a great getaway from the classroom. Faculty and staff are also invited. So if you all really want to share this amazing resource with your students, I really encourage you to do so. It's always a great time. It's going to be weekly on Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Robert L. Nugent building. We have dogs. Occasionally, we'll get cats. And at one point, we had a pony and a bunny. So you never know what the week is going to bring. Alrighty, awesome. And one last message that I really want to leave you all with is to reach out to our department if you do not know where to start. We have connections within the University of Arizona, and our front desk staff does an amazing job in like really pinpointing the people to the right direction. We're here to support you, and we're here to support your students. So please don't hesitate in reaching out to us if you ever need to Wildcat support each other. That's our big emphasis within this department. Yeah, and thank you. These are some of the different ways you can connect with us. We have a pretty lively social media community right here on the QR code. And yeah, you can reach out to us. We're located in the Robert L. Nugent building, room 100. It'll be the front two doors, or you can go ahead and contact us via email or also phone number, or I'm pretty sure you'll have my information. You can also reach out to me. I'm pretty good at answering emails. So yeah, this concludes my small presentation on the Dean of Students, and I would like to open the floor to any questions you may all have. Thank you.
Okay, we have Kim on and ready. Kim?
Hey folks, yeah, sorry about that. I am here from Trellis and we are talking about Student Cat Cloud. So I know that you all have heard about Cat Cloud, hopefully have seen it. But one of the things we often hear from advisors and really folks across campus in general is, hey, I don't have proxy login. What is it exactly that the students are seeing? And so my goal today is to show you that. So I am actually just going to steal screen share and walk through what a student sees in Cat Cloud in the next 3 minutes, so you know what's changed and what students can experience. Of course, that's taken just a second here, so bear with me, and we'll do that quickly in 3 minutes. Thanks for having me so much, and sorry that I was I missed my time slot. Apologies. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so just a quick note, I am also logged into a Sandbox, so I promise I also don't have proxy login, but this is what Cat Cloud looks like for students. Again, you'll note that I'm in a Sandbox environment. I just picked one of a student. So a couple new things on the homepage here. This is just kind of their calendar. So if Josie had any upcoming appointments, specifically with you all in the advising center, their upcoming appointments would come here. Hopefully you've seen Quick Links before. We, again, are not a replacement for any of these tools. We are simply a way for them to get to those places. We did add reservable spaces so they can reserve library rooms, pay meal debit plans, meal swipes, add cat cash. And if those things do not fit with how they are as a student, they can customize these Quick Links and change them. We also added this new apps and link functionality. So these are just kind of important apps that a student may or may not want to use. Again, entirely up to them if they want to edit it or manage that. And they also can add their own custom links if they would like to. We do have tours and how to use Cat Cloud over here. Classes is not going to work currently, but this is the ability to connect with D2L so they can take a look at like their courses, their grades, how their grade might be impacted and how they do different grades. So if you ever have heard of a student saying like, hey, I have this really awesome in-depth Excel spreadsheet to track my grades, Classes is a great way to do that in not quite as intensive of a form. As mentioned here, this is my advisor, so you all should hopefully see this. Are there any plans for this to become an app instead of a website? It is not currently planned to become an app instead of a website. Arizona or the University of Arizona app which used to be Arizona Mobile, is also a product that Sarah Wieland oversees. And so there will be integrations between the two, but this will remain a website where that will be the app. Great question. Thanks, Sarah. This is you all for your assigned advisors. Again, that would go directly to your Trellis calendar. So that is how they see that. That is the assigned advisors from the table. And then they can search it, very similar to the ARC website. And then this is their service cases. It does show any open service cases they have, as well as any ServiceNow tickets they might have put in. That's relatively new. And then again, it's just high level. What's the subject? What's the department? When was it opened? What is the status? And then that is it. So students cannot see the notes that you're taking or anything along those lines. Events are just the events they have or could register on campus. I did want to take a second to point out plans. This is that kind of ability to create co-curricular plans with your students. Right now, Wildcat Career Journey is one of the ones that is put on most students or incoming students, and students can go in here and engage with that plan. Say, hey, I've done these things. They're checked off. I can hide completed. And then you as the Trellis user would see, oh, okay, like they've done this or they haven't done this. As advisors, you will have access to plans. So if you want to use it with your students, you can also use that as well. And then this is their calendar, which again, will have all of this pre-populated for them, their appointments, their assignments, any events they've registered for, and their class times. Their appointments being appointments with you. Obviously, you all know Trellis is a lot more than that, but for the sake of today, I wanted to focus on what students see inside of Cat Cloud. Happy to answer any questions about those specifically, but appreciate you all giving me those 3 minutes. Do their major minors advisors also show up there? Whatever is assigned in the U-Access advising table as their assigned advisors is what would show up. So if they are assigned there, then yes. If they are not, then no.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Okay. John? And then to the discipline. Don, is it possible to stand on this side? We can't fix the camera right now. I just don't want it to fidget with the camera. So they won't see you. They'll see you here. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dawn Hunziker from the Disability Resource Center, and I've worked here for quite some time, so I see some familiar faces in the audience, and I recognize some names online as well. Next slide, please. So the Disability Resource Center centralizes all disability access and ADA compliance for students, employees, and guests for main campus, Arizona Online, extensions across digital, physical, curricular, employment, communication, and policy environments. What does that mean? It means anything that's disability related, anything you have questions about that's disability related, we're your resource. We're it. We are centralized on campus. We respond to anything. We provide guidance, and our goal is for disabled students, employees, and guests to have a very similar, if not identical, experience with respect to campus access as their non-disabled counterparts. You're going to see in here, there's extra slides that I'm not going to go over in the interest of time, but the DRC does go beyond the letter of the law. We look at the spirit of the law. So a lot of what we do in our campus is known for being much more accessible than what the ADA requires, for example, or what Section 504 requires. And that has created, it has put us in a place where we are a leader for disability access across secondary, post-secondary educational institutions. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Sorry, I didn't realize that was there. Keep going. Okay, so disability access on campus for students, staff, faculty, graduate and undergraduate student employees, visitors, and online, anyone who interacts with us online. So again, anything and everything related to the university and disability access, we're it. Go ahead and move forward. Move forward. Okay, the student accommodation process means that the student, we do not actively outreach to students and say, hey, you should affiliate with us if you have a disability. There's a lot of students that at this point in their life, they figured out how to work with their disability, and they don't really need DRC to intervene or to assist with accommodations. However, if they do, then we're their point of contact. So the student affiliates with DRC Online through our Connect with DRC link. They meet with an access consultant. They describe their disability related barriers. Depending on what they're describing, we may or may not require documentation, okay? And the access consultant determines, is this disability related? Sometimes there are requests from students that is not disability related, and we do refer them to other places on campus for that resource. Is the accommodation or response reasonable? Do we need documentation? What is the most effective, sustainable, and seamless solution? Access consultant works with the faculty, department, employer, and the student lets us know if something changes or if the plan is not effective. So again, we go through the process. Everybody is individual. It's on a case-by-case basis. There's not a one-size-fits-all for any individual on campus. Under request accommodations on our website, drc.arizona.edu, and future students is where you can connect with DRC if that's a link that you'd like to have. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Consultation outreach. So are you planning a big event? Do you know of a big event? Physical, digital, communication, which is ASL interpreters, CART captioners, inclusive events, planning, tailored presentations. So again, we'll talk with a unit. If you're talking with a faculty member and they express interest in having DRC come and talk to their department or their class, we're there. We want to make sure that all of our events are accessible. So we proactively work with commencement, orientation, all of the big events that are happening on campus. The president that's coming to campus in October, we're going to be working with that to make sure those events are inclusive as well. So anything, again, any questions regarding space, is this accessible? Can I make my office more welcoming and inclusive? We did a tour with Campus Health not too long ago and made some suggestions for lobby areas. There's lots of things that we work with you on. Next slide. Next slide. You can have all these for resource. And then my name is Dawn Hunziker. My email is hunziker@arizona.edu. And you can always reach me or Disability Resource Center at disability@arizona.edu. Thank you.
All right, up next we have libraries. Laura, I think I saw you on.
Yes, hello, I'm here.
All right, you're up, 3 minutes.
All right. Good morning, advisors. My name is Laura Miller. I'm a librarian at the University of Arizona Libraries. And today we have a lot of services at the libraries, including Catalyst Studios. And for this portion, I'm going to focus on our service of research support and research skill development for students. Next slide, please. So we also go by UAL, and we support both main campus and Arizona online students. And I'm going to focus today on our research skill development for students. So students come to the university with a variety of research skills in their toolbox. They may have had the opportunity to do research as a high school student, or maybe they haven't and this is their first time here. So we're also a support mechanism in addition to their professors and tutors and graduate assistants to help them, give them a boost in their research. So if you are meeting with a student and you're finding that they just need a little boost in their research skill development, I encourage you to encourage them to make an appointment with a librarian through our research assignment help for students. So we have consultations. Here at the university, every academic department and major is matched and paired with a librarian who's an expert in that area. So for example, I'm the communications and philosophy librarians, and those students, and really any students, can make an appointment with me. We'll go over their research assignment, their pain points, and help them connect to research resources we have at the library. We also have research guides, so maybe they don't need a full appointment with us, they need a research guide to help them out. We have those on our website as well for different subjects, and those are linked in my slide deck. They're also linked in their D2L course, so you can direct them to the library guide portion in their D2L course. We've recently updated and refreshed that service. So that information is there too asynchronously for them. We have course integrated instruction where we work with faculty and instructors. Second, we have technology and equipment borrowing. So if a student, maybe their laptop is broken or they prefer taking notes on an iPad, they can come on down to the library on the first floor and check out a piece of technology and equipment. And they also have things like fancy cameras if they're doing a photography assignment, right? Third, we have support for course materials. So when professors submit their course adoption, textbook material adoptions to the bookstore, we facilitate that inclusive access. So if there are issues accessing course materials or they need help with that textbook affordability portion of their education, we can assist there too. Next slide, please. I've linked our website, the Find Your Librarian source here. So if you're working with a student in communications, for example, you can just go there and say, oh, here's Laura, she's your librarian. We have an email and a chat service. So we have a live chat service, just like SOS. They can chat us throughout the day. If they just need help finding a research or they're not having access to something, they can get live on-demand help. And then of course, we're a physical space. We have 4 locations across campus with a variety of hours. We're open to the public, but then also only CAT card after a certain point in the day. That's all I have, so feel free to reach out to the libraries at any point, find your librarian, and bring your students to us when they need research help. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Leticia and I'm from the ACE Center, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about one of the services, one of our big services that we offer on campus, which is major exploration. And just to remind everybody that we are here to serve all students on our campus, not just students in the ACE Center to do that. So what is major exploration? So major exploration is a conversation really with a student, and it's a process, right? We don't have a magic wand in our office where we can just say, bing, you're going to be this, bing, you're going to be that. We need to talk with them and understand where they're coming from, maybe have some assessments that they'll be doing. We'll go to the next slide. And so we offer different types of support for them for major exploration. So I'll go through each one of these. Individualized advising. Go the next one. Sorry. I'm like, where do we go? So the individualized advising with major exploration is, the student will come in, talk with us, and, we'll try to gauge where they're at, maybe invite them to do some homework when they leave our office, things like researching the different majors that they might be interested in, and then coming back with what they found so that we can maybe narrow things down and then invite them to meet with those particular major advisors. You'll hear about pre-professions in a little bit from my colleague Chester, but they too can talk with students, right, about major exploration within the health professions area. They just know that they have a goal at the end, but what are they doing for their undergraduate degree? I do that all the time. I'm turning my Vanna over here. Students that need a little bit more of structure in their exploration process. So for major exploration, if the one-on-one didn't work, and sometimes students, there seems to be a black hole between our office and maybe your offices. And so they're not really having those conversations. And so we offer our SERP 197P course specifically for major exploration. The course is called Explore, Discover, Decide, ... your major. And so our team of a couple people in our office, specifically Chelsea Burke, have designed the curriculum, Bree Schaefer before her, to really connect students into who they are. And so it's, you can call it a self-exploration class if you will, but this course offers a carrot and a stick. Right? It's a 2-unit graded course. And so we really talk with them to make sure that they're ready to get involved in the process and ready to really figure this out because they haven't been able to do it in the other route. Our TLS 100 course, just so you'll know, we're currently teaching it now, and it's Navigating the Research University. And so that is not a major exploration course. I think that is the one that students are like, I'm undecided and I'm going to learn about majors there. We do have a module and assignment on that. And so you heard from my colleague Jackie, if you attended UPAC yesterday, students are starting to come to you to learn about that. So we do introduce it, but we're not quite focused just on that. We're focused on the university at large and for them to make connections with us at the ACE Center as their advisors. So an event that is coming up, she talked about that yesterday too, is our Meet Your Major Fair, which is 2 weeks from today. Hopefully a lot of you will be there representing your majors, or if not, coming to at least visit and see what's going on. That's a great way for our students to get connected, right? That's one of the assignments that we have in our TLS 100 class. That's an assignment for students, anybody who's undecided. And so major exploration could be a couple things, right? You're exploring what you're interested in, but you also maybe want to confirm. I've had students that come in and I'm currently majoring in X. I'm just not quite sure that I still want that, and so we don't try to convince them to get out of that. We try to figure out within the exploration process, within that appointment, let's see if we can confirm why you chose that, or if it's not that, then what else is it? And so the Meet Your Major Fair, we have majors from all across campus that will be there. And so students have an opportunity for a one-stop shop to make that connection and then hopefully make an appointment with you shortly after that to stay connected. And then we do celebrate our students once they declare major. We have Major Declaration Day every year in May. Major Declaration Day every year in May to celebrate those students that have declared their major, because some of them come in and they're just kind of anxious about it, but it's okay to be undecided. I personally like to congratulate them for being brave, for not knowing, or for brave enough to say, I don't know, and it's okay. And then we will celebrate them, kind of a little graduation, if you will, once we hand them over to their major advisors. And so those are 2 main events that we have for major exploration specifically. The My Majors is an assessment that, again, Jackie talked about yesterday. Then you're all welcome to try that as well if you go on our website. But that's one of the little homework assignments, if you will, when they come in and meet with us individually, that we say, go take this assessment, really focus on it, come back and let's talk about it. And then that black hole happens, right? So they don't come back, to do that. But hopefully that'll give them some information to at least start narrowing things down and working on doing some of their own self-exploration. But when you take this assessment, it'll narrow it down to 10 U of A majors based on the way that you answered those questions. Just don't focus too much on the questions, right? Just do it pretty quickly. Go by with your gut, because then that'll be a little bit more truthful for the students. So it's a really cool tool to kind of get us started and really narrowing down those choices. And that's all I got, I think. Is that all I got? I think that's all I got. I don't remember. Yep, that's all I've got. Follow us and everything, and we're good. Thank you.
All right, up next, we got our friends from OSPA. Josh, I think I saw you on.
I am here. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
All
And
right.
thank you for inviting OSPA to share. Next slide, please. So I'm going to cover some resources. And first off, just want to mention, so I'm here from the Office of Scholarships and Financial Aid. We're also known as OSPA amongst campus partners. And I'm going to talk about our top resources and services with you. So we offer workshops and events throughout the year to assist students with everything from filling out the FAFSA to applying for scholarships. You'll notice that there's some links here. So everything I'm covering is linked on the PowerPoint if anyone would like to reference these things. So the underlined events there is a link to our events page. And moving on, we also have a video library containing step-by-step instructions for subjects such as how to use Scholarship Universe, which is our scholarship tool for students to apply for scholarships, as well as how to accept loans if needed. And we have a faculty and staff webpage, and this webpage contains everything from outreach materials that you may want to share with students to how you can assist students who might be submitting an appeal. And then also on that faculty and staff webpage, we have our financial aid campus partner training series, and there's recordings on there, and that's housed within the webpage as well. Be on the lookout very soon for an outreach request page. We're currently constructing that, and so if you have requests for OSPA to come and perform some outreach for you, we're building a webpage where you can actually submit that request. Lastly, our Contact Us page shows how we can be contacted by phone, by email, by fax, or in person. This page also lists our average wait times for different contact methods. And then it also lists the ways to email our office for different folks, such as students or prospective students, staff and faculty, parents, and even university staff who are submitting requests regarding stipends and awards. Next slide, please. So this is a screenshot here of our Contact Us page, and I've just scrolled down to our Email Us section. And so there's a couple of different tiles. There's 4 tiles, but I have a couple of tiles kind of highlighted there. The one in the upper left says students click here. So if students want to email our office, that's where they would click. And if any of y'all have any questions for our office that you want to submit on behalf of a student, you'll click on the university staff NetID login, which is the lower left one there in blue. We typically respond to emails in 1 to 3 days. However, most of the time it's same day or next day responses. And then I've also listed here, of course, just some contact information. There's our phone number, there's our email, there's the link to get to that email section there. And then there's our physical location. So if you don't know it, we're in the administrative building, room 208, but it's really when you walk into the building where the floor that you kind of land on. And we're just east of the student union. And that is all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, up next, our pre-professions. Chester, are you online?
I'm here.
All right, you go. 3 minutes.
All right. Hello, everyone. So you heard from Leticia from the ACE Center. So pre-professions is housed in the ACE Center. And often, just to be clear, what pre-professions does is we work with students in pre-law advising as well as pre-health professions advising. So often, if we narrow that even further down, that means students who want to go to law school and students who want to go to medical school or other graduate or professional health careers. Next slide. So we have 3.5 or 3 full-time advisors and a part-time advisor for our pre-professions along with myself. Unlike major advisors, we serve all students. So that means online students, it means students who have graduated, so post-baccalaureates or alumni or alum students. We serve all of them for sure. We also offer all of our advising in person and also through Zoom. So that way we can meet all the students that we're trying to network with. Next slide. So often, I think when we talk about health professions, we're shadowed by medicine. We're always thinking about medical school, but really we work with all students who are looking at different health professions that are graduate level or beyond. So that includes obviously medicine, dentistry, physician assistant, physical therapy, occupational therapy. We also work closely with the College of Nursing and Pharmacy. I know they have level degrees, but we also have students who are looking at alternative pathways or alternative ways to get into those professions, as well as many that are not listed there. So we really do try to work with all students that are interested in professions. Next slide. So really, what do we do? I think the last bullet on there really summarizes what we do. We really are strategizing and preparing students for the application process for whichever health career they're planning to pursue. And there's a lot there. Often I think we think it's all about the prerequisite courses that specific medical schools or health schools are looking for, but it's so much more. It's often about all these necessary things to make them supplemental activities. It's also about helping them get connected with clubs and organizations. And then also, because we are part of the ACE Center, we often find students who don't know what they don't know. And so meaning they're interested in a health profession, but maybe they didn't realize it's not really the health profession they're looking for. We really want to make sure that they've self-reflected and they've connected with us as soon as possible, so that way they're aware of where they're headed. Next slide. So I also want to speak to pre-law. So clearly we have a lot of students at the U of A who want to go to law school. So, and again, that application process is very complicated. So, and it's always best, just like with pre-health, is that we meet with them as early as possible so that way they can begin to work on all of these different tasks while they're an undergraduate student. Often students that meet with us too late are going to be required to take gap years just because they're not prepared or they're not going to be as competitive as they need to be for law school. So again, with law school, we're going to walk them through the application process. We're going to help prepare them for all the different steps that will be within that application, including, LSAT preparation and other law schools. Now there's lots of other exams that they could be taking in addition to that. So next slide. So obviously we want to see our students, so please get them, forward them to us early so we can start connecting with them about any of the pre-professions that they might be interested in. And like I said, we're in the Bartlett Academic Success Center, but also just be aware we do offer Zoom options for all students and alumni and post-baccalaureates. So can't wait to work with our students. So please keep sending them to us. Thank you so much.
All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and take a quick 10-minute break. If that's okay, stretch your legs, rest your eyes. We'll come back. It's 10:01. We'll start at 10:11. Yeah, one more minute. All right, let's begin the second half of the workshop. Up next, we have our friends from the SALT Center. And I think this is where the camera will point and you can see online. And if you stand around this area, that way the people online can go ahead and see.
Hello, people online. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brittany Cortinas, and I am the recruitment coordinator for the SALT Center here at the university. We are academic support for students with mild to moderate learning differences. So anything from ADHD, dyslexia, dysgraphia, autism, Asperger's, the whole spectrum, and probably things I'm not even thinking of right now. SALT stands for Strategic Alternative Learning Techniques, but that's a huge mouthful. So we just say the SALT Center, and that makes people stop and look at us and go, what is this? Next slide. So we have three main supports. And what we tell our students is that we are academic support. They can do anything on campus. They can be in honors. They can be in sports or clubs. They can do research. We are just here to help them with their work, basically, the actual school stuff. So they have three main components that we work with for our students. Number one, a support specialist who meets with them every single week to help them with a variety of things, basically meeting the students where they are. So they'll do things like that transition from high school to college, making that easier. A time management and organization. They create what they call a semester on a page, which is a visual representation of every single week of the semester and every single due date from a syllabus. Every single test date goes into that. So a student can never say, I didn't know that was coming up, because it's reviewed every single week and it is on that SOAP. They also help them with executive function and self-advocacy. We always tell our students, they call the support specialist their parent away from home. It's not their parent. So they're not going to do anything for them, but they will help them do what needs to be done. So my example that I always use is you have to find your classes for next semester. We can't do that for you, but we can help you figure out who is your academic advisor. How do you make an appointment? What questions do you want to ask? Are you nervous about having a conversation? Let's role play the whole thing. And then we're going to follow up with them afterwards to make sure they got what they needed. So never doing it for them, but making sure they can do it. So a lot of self-advocacy support so that our students know that they can do anything that a neurotypical student on campus can do. Then we have unlimited tutoring. So this is everything from drop-in tutoring, one-on-one tutoring, and then we also do study groups. You'll usually see those for freshman and sophomore year classes. The one-on-one tutors, we focus on a peer tutoring model. So these are students who have taken the classes. They're College Reading and Learning Association certified, which is like the gold standard of tutoring certification. They get to a level 2 out of 3, which means they specifically know how to work with students with learning differences. So it's a lot of building skills, because for myself, I also have ADHD. If someone put a textbook in front of me and said, tell me what you learned, read that, and I'll say, my head is out that window. That's not how I learn. So it's a really focus on figuring out how students learn, how they study, and building those skills. So with the peer tutoring models, it means they've also taken the classes. They know the professors and they know how they teach and grade. So it's kind of like having an inside person into the classes. For the one-on-one tutors, you can make them just a one-off appointment. No student has ever had to wait more than 24 hours to meet with a tutor. We have over 100 hired. Or they can set up a standing appointment. They can say they're taking calculus and they're going to need assistance with calculus all semester. They can set up a standing appointment to meet with that calculus tutor every single week. or twice a week if that's what they need. They have us, coming in sophomore year, they have a huge load of classes that they feel like they need tutors for every single one. They can have a tutor for every single one. It is entirely unlimited. For our drop-in tutoring, that's open as late as our building is, which is 9 to 7 Monday through Thursday, Fridays 9 to 3, and students can come and go as they please. They can come in, spend 20 minutes having a paper read over with the tutors that are sitting in there, and then go about their day. We have some students who come in, set up shop for like 2 hours, get all of their homework done in one setting. They don't even talk to the tutors sometimes. They just know that they're there in case they need assistance. And then lastly, we help with educational technology. So these are things that make it easier for students in the classroom. So things like note-taking assistance, read aloud technology, speech to text. There are so many out there that it's trying to figure out what is actually going to meet my needs versus what is actually going to just take up space on my phone. It's hard. So we have dedicated staff who's well aware of what's out there to talk to the students about what they need and help them find it, download it, and learn how to use it in order to start classes. So in addition to the academic stuff, and I'm sorry if I'm going over 3 minutes, we also do some additional services because our students come from around the country and they are not just here to pump out a bunch of papers, get a fancy degree and leave. They're people, they're here to experience college. So we also offer psychological, wellness, and community events. So with the psychological services, we offer counseling to all of our students. It's brief solution and focused therapy, so not meant to be for the full 4 years. It's provided by a clinic called the ABLE Clinic. So they are a public clinic here in Tucson. They work with our students. We have therapists in-house, or they can do it online. Wellness events, those are things like we bring in therapy dogs. We did yoga during last semester, really encouraging our students to take a break during really stressful times. They brought in an acupuncture and a masseuse, and I was at a college fair that day. I'm trying not to be bitter. I'm still really bitter about it. And then community events. So it is not a lie that students who are neurodiverse sometimes have problems with socializing, and coming to a 44,000 person university can be really scary, really daunting. So we do community events to help students start that process. So we do movie nights and board game nights. Our students just took a trip down to Topgolf to just hang out and hit some golf balls. Next slide. So we are an application-based service. So students, our application opens in mid-September. For next year, it's about to open. We do tend to reach capacity about April, so I always encourage students to apply as soon as possible. And then in addition, we also have fees. So for lower division students, juniors and seniors, it's $3,500 per semester, and it includes everything that I've talked about. For upper division students, it's $1,700 per semester. The only difference is it does become harder for us to find those upper level tutors for juniors and seniors. So we don't automatically charge students for the one-on-one tutors. That still includes the drop-in tutoring and everything else, just not the one-on-one. If we can find a one-on-one tutor for students, it's $25 an hour. However, I always encourage students, do not let that money, the fee, drive you away. We offer a ton of scholarships. These are need-based. They assist with our program fees. It won't go towards tuition. It's located on Scholarship Universe, and we had 75 students who applied for scholarships before we were at capacity, and all 75 got some kind of funds. And any student that's Pell Grant eligible, we want to cover them in full. So if a student is concerned about the fees, tell them to submit. The last thing I wanted to mention is that a student does not have to be diagnosed to become a part of the SALT Center. A lot of students, especially students in public schools, that is not an option for them, and those tests are very expensive. So if they believe they have ADHD and they've never been diagnosed, they can still apply to our services. That being said, the ABLE Clinic also does testing for everything up to dementia for a fraction of the cost for our students. So that is also an alternative if they do want to get a diagnosis. So thank you. I've got some materials I'm going to hand out to everybody.
Thank you. All right, up next, SSI. Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Jimmy. Hi, I'm Jenny Neer. I'm with Student Success and Retention Innovation. Student success and retention innovation is comprised of assessment and research, CATS academics, the SALT Center, Think Tank, and the Thrive Center. You're going to hear from all of them today except assessment and research. So we help support undergraduate students through academic skill building, tutoring, peer mentoring, outreach and communication, and creating community. But most importantly, we just make sure that there are student success and supports available on campus. And that's the most important thing you need to remember about SSRI. Next slide. So what we do centrally is really going to be grouped into 3 different areas, and that's going to be data-informed support, central retention efforts, and communication and outreach. We do point-in-time outreach, and that's going to be text-based outreach and a variety of other things. Trellis progress support, academic eligibility appeals and interventions, the new student interest form, and the enrollment intercept. Centrally, we also do research on success initiatives. We host our student success conference, which everyone is invited to. We have our retention steering and working groups, and we support this annual retention cycle efforts with the colleges. And then through our retention or communication and outreach efforts, we have the SOS program, which I'll talk more about, all of our communications to students, which are found in our communications playbook, as well as Launchpad, which we have for main campus, like online has for online students, Wildcat Welcome, which everyone is invited to join, that committee to help with Wildcat Welcome and belonging efforts throughout the year. And then our belonging mindset and gratitude initiatives. And we also have materials available that you are able to distribute to your students. So the SOS program, students, faculty, staff members, community members, family members are all able to utilize the SOS program. We answered 7,500 questions last year on the breadth of the student experience. You can call, text, chat, email, stop by and visit us at our locations within the Student Success District. You are always talking with a real person, never a bot of any kind, although the students like to think that they are. We will answer questions in the evenings, nights, weekends, and university closures. You can refer any student, staff, faculty member, anyone to us, and we will get them the right resource, answer that question, or get them to the right people to make sure they are connected with the best resource possible. And those questions can be anything. Today, people were complaining about not being able to find water fountains on campus, so we were getting them the water fountain map, like anything at all, or getting them connected to CAPS or the Dean of Students office, or finding their academic advisor. All different kinds of things. And then finally, we created a website. Next slide, Jimmy. And this website will take you directly to a page that we created specifically to support academic advisors on our website. And so this will have all of the information that I thought would be most helpful to you about SSRI for academic advisors or other staff that support students within the colleges. So there's a lot of information on the SSRI and SOS websites, but this is stuff that I thought would be most helpful for academic advisors. You're also going to find it on the SSRI website under staff and professional resources, and then it has an academic advisor dropdown.
And up next, we have our friends from Student Engagement and Career Development. Kylie, I saw you online.
Yes, I'm online.
There we go.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. So we can go to the next slide, I guess. So Student Engagement and Career Development is really here to inspire and prepare all graduates to create lives of opportunity aligned with their purpose and values. A lot of people, I think of us as career services, and certainly that is one aspect of the work that we do with students, but we also offer several other opportunities for students to develop both in their career and just their engagement with the university and in other areas. We help students to develop in-demand employable skills within and beyond the classroom, engage in experiences that expand their capacity to lead and to solve authentic challenges facing our communities and businesses, and then design and implement a career plan aligned with personal strength and values for a lifetime of opportunity and well-being. Next slide. A few services that I wanted to highlight. The first is that we do offer one-on-one career support, connections to jobs, internships, career workshops, career fairs, and employer events. And in order to access all of these things, students can utilize Handshake. Hopefully most of you are familiar with Handshake. Not only does Student Engagement and Career Development utilize it, a number of other departments across campus, College of Science, I believe CALES, like they all schedule their career coaching appointments through that as well. But a student, once they're registered in one unit of coursework, has an handshake account available to them. They just have to activate it. And that's the best way to get involved with employers and career opportunities. We also have Life Lab, which is available in person, via Zoom, email, or chat to support students in uncovering their questions and goals, exploring different resources and programs, and building career momentum one step at a time. So their website is there. They're located in Bear Down Gym on the 2nd floor, and they're a great opportunity for students to just pop in if they're not sure what the next step should be in their career journey. If they find out they have a question, not career or student engagement related, we certainly will also direct them to the right office or resource on campus. And then lastly, I want to note that for all students who are first year through junior year, so our seniors and older won't have this, but anyone junior year or younger will have a My Wildcat Career Journey via their Cat Cloud with semester by semester milestones linked to support resources under their plans. A lot of students don't realize this is there, but it is a really great tool to help them kind of keep track of what they should be accomplishing during their time here. And then there is also an accelerated plan for transfer students. And that might be the last one, but we can go one slide. Oh, and this is how you can reach us. So that's our main phone number, email address, and website. We also have LinkedIn and Instagram. We do also have a Facebook group, and then we are located in the Bartlett Academic Success Center on the 3rd floor. And so, yeah, we look forward to connecting with you and your students, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have Study Abroad, Mariah and Jacob. I think I saw both of you online.
Hi, yes, we're
There
here.
we- Right, your turn, 3 minutes.
All right, good morning, everybody. We are Study Abroad. My name is Mariah Nunes. I'm the Curriculum Integration Manager for our office, and I have my colleague Jacob here with me.
Yeah, hello, everybody. My name is Jacob. I'm the Study Abroad Recruitment Manager here. Excited to be talking to you all. Quickly, we wanted to, if we can go to the next slide, please. Just kind of, identify what Study Abroad is. This is a co-curricular experience where students are going overseas to earn credit that's going to count towards their degree. Importantly, though, Study Abroad is not just one thing for one student. It can be a lot of things to nearly every student on campus, whether that's classes, internships, and we're really excited. In the next year, we're going to be expanding our internship opportunities, so we're really looking forward to that. If students are looking for field studies or conducting research, these are all things that are possible. This is not just about a classroom experience, which we certainly can cater to, though. We offer a lot of different options throughout the country, a lot of different types of programs, semester, year-long, spring break trips, winter break trips, summer trips, all of this is possible. And from the Study Abroad office perspective, Study Abroad is open to all undergraduate majors. We have very few things that would work well for graduate students. There are a couple, and so if there's graduate students that want to come chat with us, we certainly encourage them to do so. We have a lot of resources here in our office to help students figure out what it is that's going to work best for them when it comes to study abroad. A great place is to start with our peer advising program, which I oversee here at the Global Center. So you can send students to us. We do drop-in hours every afternoon. We also do by appointment, Zoom, or in person. And what the peer advising or exploratory stage really does is help students explore the catalog, see what options may work for them, and then help them also kind of come back to you all to dial it down to maybe a 1 or 2 options and really understand what's going to work best so that then they're ready to apply for their program when that application opens, at which point they'll move into the coordinator phase. And I'll let Mariah take it from there.
So you may be familiar with our study abroad coordinators. This is really the student's primary point of contact once they've identified a program that they're going to apply to. So the coordinator is the student's go-to person for any questions related to the study abroad application. And of course, the requirements to travel to the specific country that they're going to. So visa application questions, of course, getting a passport, which is something that Jacob's peer advising team can also help the student navigate to. And the study abroad coordinator is going to be the person that's sending out helpful information about the student's host institution. In many cases, our students are actually going to a foreign university in another country and sending transfer credit back. If anyone needs to be a liaison between the student and their host institution, that's what a study abroad coordinator helps with. And super important, our coordinators help prepare our students for their departure to go abroad, which includes a lot of health and safety information. All of our students are required to enroll in international health insurance. And so we help cover content and information relating to that. We also wanted to talk about what the academic advising community's role is in study abroad. You are probably the most important point of contact for students because the study abroad office does not do any academic advising of any kind, including approving students' gen eds. This is, I think, a little misinformation that we're trying to myth bust. That is a conversation that students have with you, the academic advisor. And to be fully transparent, you're probably their first point of contact. A student is going to come talk to you about study abroad before they're going to come talk to our team. So your role is really to be encouraging, to talk to students about how it might fit into their plan, help connect to our office, and of course to sign and approve the course applicability to degree worksheet, which is a required component of the study abroad application. And then there's a post-study abroad piece of work that advisors do when a transcript is sent back to the University of Arizona and it is processed, which may take some time to see in a student's UAccess. You are the person, of course, that makes any required subs based on the agreement that you and the student have that was signed in the course applicability to degree worksheet. So as you can see, there's a lot of layers of student support and different groups. So our office, of course, and academic advising that we have to all work together to support students. And so we can't thank you enough for the critical role that you play in a student's study abroad journey. We can go to the next slide and kind of talk a little bit about how to get a hold of us. We know that students have questions about study abroad, and so do you. And of course, we can backtrack one. We want to make sure that we are as easy to get a hold of as possible for you. Our email address is pretty simple, studyabroad@arizona.edu. If you don't know who to ask, if you have a question or you want to refer your student to us, please feel free to contact that email address and your message will get to the correct person to help. And of course, we also have our Teams channel. We have a QR code here, so if you want to take a moment to scan that, we can also drop a link in the chat. Please join us on Study Abroad and Advising. Jacob and I are as quick as we can possibly be to respond to your questions. We know oftentimes you have students sitting in front of you in the moment with maybe a wacky study abroad question for a program that you've never heard of before. You can totally throw questions in the chat and we'll get to you as immediately as we can. And if you don't know where we're located, we are in the Global Center, which is formerly the Park Student Union. The Global Center is, we have two spaces there, our study abroad office space located accessible through the central courtyard, but also the Global Lounge, which is towards the front of the building. And this is where we host events and where our peer advisors have daily drop-in hours. I think that's all from us. Feel free to contact Jacob or me anytime or use any of these channels to get a hold of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariah and Jacob. All right. And up next, we have our friends from Think Tank. Carly, I think I saw you online.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm going to tell you all a little bit about Think Tank. I'm only going to talk about a couple of slides here. I sent Nicole way too many, so you'll all have them later on in the notes. But just to start off, so Think Tank is a centralized academic support center on campus. And this first slide here has the ways to get in contact with us. So a couple of the takeaways We have a lot of services and locations and hours. So the best place to check is always our website, thinktank.arizona.edu. And you can follow us on social media at UAZ Think Tank. And we could go to the next slide, please. We have a variety of services, and another good takeaway is that the majority of these services are free. So I listed a general overview here of what we have. And so our drop-in tutoring is always free. We have that for a variety of math courses, science, business, French, and Spanish. Supplemental instruction is always free. Our writing center, always free, where students can make an appointment or do something called the feedback loop, which is really awesome. They just upload their writing and get feedback from a tutor within 3 to 5 days. And we have peer academic coaching, and they also host workshops and a wide variety of things. And so something else to keep in mind is that we have a lot more in addition to tutoring. And sometimes students feel like they can only come to us if they're like struggling in something, or they're confused or lost or anything like that. But we see that proactive and motivated students come utilize our services. So we're really here for any student at any point in their U of A life. And if I'm going to skip the next slide, but we can go two slides where we have the map. This will be the thing I end on. So we have a few locations on campus. Our main one is in Bartlett Academic Success Center, which you've heard many times before. We share our building with many of the other departments that have spoken today. And so that is our main one with the most amount of our hours and locations. And we also have everything online in addition to these physical locations. And you can find those on the map. And as I mentioned in the slides that Nicole will share out, there's more of our services that go into depth with each one. But I will save that for you all to check out later. And I will leave you all with that information. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Carly.
Thank you. Bye.
And up next, we have the Thrive Center.
Good morning. My name is Michelle McKelvey. I oversee the Thrive Center and the Transfer Student Center. And so I have for you Thrive Center in a slide as soon as we get to it. So the Thrive Center essentially works with students to help them navigate the to help them navigate the institution, excel in it, and then graduate from here. And we do that co-curricularly. So we're looking at support outside of the classroom. So we're in the same department as Think Tank, but are working a little bit differently with students. We're working with historically marginalized and minoritized students in higher education, first generation, and students who come from low-income households are our target, or that's who's centered. And when we say that, that means that's the lens we're working through, but we work with any student that comes into the Thrive Center that feels like they need support. So you'll see first gen students, first cats is what we call them on campus. They do not have to be part of any program in our office to be a first cat. Then we also have the immigrant student resources in our area, working with undocumented DACA refugee and immigrant students. We are doing Pell eligible, but we also house Arizona Assurance and transfer students. The Transfer Student Center is in our office. Academic probation students come through, and then any students seeking support. So the ways in which we do this are we offer peer mentoring, we do community building so that students are able to connect with who they're feeling like they want their people to be during college. And we do a lot of the community building and peer mentoring in collaboration with our cultural resource centers. And so we're trying to connect students back out. We're not trying to keep them in the Thrive Center. Teach and shares and discussion groups, we have financial wellness. So different from financial aid, who are the only people on campus who can tell students what their aid looks like. We're trying to help them with budgeting. Do they know how they're going to pay for college? Do they know how to write scholarship essays, statements, or anything like that? And then we have one-on-one individualized professional support. There's always someone available to meet with them. And we house the New Start program. So if you've never been to our space, that is some pictures. So you'll see we say Thrive is a vibe. It is very hard to describe what we do. It is really a feeling that the students get. We have a fridge where they can share exciting things with us. We have a kitchen that's for them. So if you see that fridge, they can put food in there. We have microwaves. And then ways which we could work with you all. We sent out, or Nicole did for us, sent out a peer mentoring video last week, I think, or the week before. We hope you all saw it. And I thank you who gave feedback to us, who have already referred students over to us. We've reached out to them. That is on our website if you want to connect a student with us. We also have the Peer Mentor Collaborative. If you have a peer mentoring program, there is a group of us who have peer mentoring programs across campus who meet. We can find out if students within your college are connected to other areas and let you know who might not be connected right now. We also have First Cats branches. Shout out to Daniel and Kales, who's getting his going again. So we're excited about that. College of Humanities is starting this year. And so we're happy to partner with your colleges. And then on the Thrive Center website, if you go to our Campus Partners tab, we recently added a space where you can add flyers or PowerPoint slides if you want those to run in our office. You can also ask us to come present or table on that tab. And then finally, I invite you to the Transfer Student Center Open House, which is happening right now from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. today, if you would like to know more about the Transfer Center. Thank you.
Right. I think, is that a question? Mariah put a link. Okay. Up next, and we are with our friends in the Writing Skills Improvement Program. Andrea, I think I saw you online.
Yes, hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Holm. I'm the director of the Writing Skills Improvement Program here on campus. You might know us as Writing Skills, WSIP, or WSIP. We go by any and all of those names. We are housed in the College of Humanities, but we serve students, faculty, staff from any discipline, any college, both online, in person, and outside of the university community as well. So we could go to the next slide. Our support is really focused on helping writers to develop their abilities in writing, their critical thinking skills, their skills around grammar, organization, helping them to learn academic writing conventions, to really build up their knowledge, their confidence, and their general understanding on who they are as a writer and how to strengthen their ability to meet the assignments that they're working on or to convey their ideas through writing. Okay, next. So we do that through a number of services, but we're focused on helping them to learn, improve, and develop. And again, that's going to be focusing on specifics like citation styles, grammar, organization, structure, genre awareness, but it's also about audience awareness. What does it mean to write for an English composition course versus a history course versus a lab report? What does it mean when you're a third-year undergrad versus a second-year PhD student? And how do you adjust your language through writing in those areas? What is clarity? What is concision? And how do you develop your sentences and your organization to get there? We help them to develop writing practices to understand what they need as writers. Most students think about writing as the last thing on their priority list. You know, the assignment may be due at midnight. So, okay, I need a week, a day, a few hours to write my assignment. And we're encouraging them to instead to think of writing as a process and a craft and developing a whole semester process for creating their effective documents. We're also thinking about revision and what is the best way to edit and proofread, and how do you become a good reviewer and provide valuable feedback for your peers and those that you're providing review for. We really emphasize that support is for everyone, not just in that our services are open to everyone, but that all writers need support in order to move to the next stage. Whether you're an incoming first-year student and this is your first assignment in biology, or you're a 20-year faculty member, your writing skills are always changing. They're always maturing and developing. And so you'll always need feedback as you continue to grow. So we emphasize that we work with writers who consider themselves strong writers, not so strong writers, writers who are multilingual, native English speakers, non-native English speakers, undergraduates, graduate students, and again, faculty members, staff members, administrators, and community members. Okay, next slide. For our sessions and for most of our services, we're really focusing on the steps that we think writers benefit most from when they engage those in their writing process. These are going to include the elements of every stage. So brainstorming, presenting, drafting, revising, and everything in between and beyond that. For many writers, they think, oh, I'm just going to need help once I've written a draft. But what we encourage writers to think about is that it's helpful to have someone to talk with from the beginning to the end. So even if a student doesn't know what they want to write about, that doesn't mean that they should that should prevent them from coming to see a tutor. We're happy to work with a student who just needs to talk ideas through. And from those discussions, we're hopeful we'll be able to help them generate ideas that then we can work through outlining and developing into possible drafts that they can use. And the same with every stage, right? Helping them, guiding them through those steps. How do we make our revision process as efficient and effective as possible? What are you looking for as you revise? And how do you correct those problems that you might encounter? And helping students to use those tools that are becoming more and more readily available to them, like the AI assistants, the Packback and Grammarly, and all of those tools that make writing and proofreading and editing feel so easy, and proofreading's at your fingertips. How do we make students make the process for using those for students easier for them, but also very intentional, so that they understand why Grammarly is suggesting that they should switch from active to passive voice and make their own decision about whether that is a good option for that particular sentence. Again, our services are available for students and writers who are online or off campus. We'll meet with students in other countries. We adjust our time when possible, if needed. We've had sessions at 10 p.m. our time, because it's the only time that a student may be able to see us halfway across the world. We don't do that often, but there are times when we will make those adjustments. Okay, next slide. We are available through our website, through our email, through phone. We are physically located in the Chavez building down in the basement, room 106. And we also have pages on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. For students, most of our services are free, primarily during the academic year. We offer free drop-in tutoring, free tutoring by appointment, a free online weekly writing room, free weekly workshops. And then we do have other services that are fee-based, and this would include fee-based for students as well. And those are our special programs, such as writing institutes during the summer and between semesters, editing services, job market preparation, and our custom workshops that are available. Usually those are organized through like a program or a faculty member who would like us to facilitate a specific topic for their group. And so we call that a custom workshop. But, you know, I encourage you to send your students to us, give us a call if you have questions. And if you'd like to talk about your own writing, reach out and we're happy to have that discussion with you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea. Up next, we have Jess with Wayfinders.
Hello, yes. We can move on to the next slide and I'll get started. So Wayfinders is not really going to be a program that you're going to be referring students to. It's more a program that Wayfinders will be referring students to you from the Wayfinders group. So in case you haven't heard of it, Wayfinders is an application-based group of academic advisors who all commit to going above and beyond their daily academic advising tasks to do general academic advising for all students across campus. So again, it's general academic advising. We do not do major specific or minor specific advising or pre-profession, anything like that. We don't do specific advising. We do general academic advising for any undergraduate student. So that's things like, when is registration starting? How do I find my priority registration date? What are campus resources? So another thing we do is direct students to campus resources. That happens a lot. So it's resources like the ones you're seeing today. We also provide students referrals to those. A big thing that we do is refer students back to their academic advisor. So it's making sure that students are in contact with their academic advisor, that they know who it is, that they know how to find an appointment. So we often will guide students through making an appointment with their academic advisor. And the purpose of us is to be a presence around campus, promoting academic advising and promoting connection to academic advising. So we're meeting students where they are on campus. So we attend lots of events, we table in libraries, so both the main library and then this semester we're starting tabling in the science and engineering library. We attend with Armando, we attend Dog Days with the Dean once a month, which has been great to meet our students in a different format and just really just be there to show them academic advising is here for you. It's not something that's far off. It's here for you. It's right at your fingertips, and let's get you connected. So just a few numbers. So last year, 7 Wayfinders provided a total of 73 hours of work beyond their full-time jobs. They get engaged with 741 students at a total of 69 events or activities. So we do a lot throughout the year. And that's all to promote that connection for students to academic advising. So next slide. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us. It's wayfinders@email.arizona.edu, or you can email me directly. I'm the coordinator for Wayfinders, and that's my email address. Let us know if you or your department would be interested in collaborating with the Wayfinders group somehow. We're open to ideas on what that could look like. And then if you wanted to find us physically, we're in Beal Center. So we're not with everyone else in Basque, sadly, but we are in Beal Center a little bit off to the side, and we're housed with the Advising Resource Center. So Wayfinders is part of the Advising Resource Center.
Thank you, Jess. All right, we're coming down to our last 2 presenters. We have the Women and Gender Resource Center, and then we have our friends from APASA. So, and I think
I'm online.
You're online. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Hi,
Audrey.
everybody. My name is Audrey Ford. I use they, she pronouns. I'm going to drop some links in the chat real quick. They are also on the slides, but I realized some of my fonts translated funny when I switched the format. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. So the Women and Gender Resource Center is a space located on the 4th floor of the Student Union, and we were founded in the 90s by volunteer student activists who ran primarily programs for survivors of gender-based violence, and students have always guided the programming that we lead in our space. We've been funded by student service fees since 2010, and right now we're a space meant for folks to come visit and just use it how they need. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It's primarily a drop-in space where students can come hang out. And if we go to the next slide, you'll see some of our cool resources. So our lounge, like I said, is open Monday through Friday. We offer a financial aid peer advisor that's trained by OSFA to do one-on-one meetings with students, and they will also lead different workshops around financial literacy, FAFSA, submitting taxes. We also run the Feminist Pharmacy through an undergrad student organization, which is the only space on campus where you can get menstrual, safe sex, and emergency contraceptive products for free. I know some other spaces on campus offer the free menstrual products, but we have some other things up here as well that's provided by that undergrad org. We also do mental health and wellness programming led by a graduate assistant who recently received a $100,000 grant from the Office of Sustainability to really expand that offering. So we focus Indigenous knowledge of self-care and wellness, and they'll be leading an open house for that program on the 18th next week with some really cool community and campus experts coming to describe the work. And the next slide, please. Some other resources that we have is the only permanent lactation room in the student union with a fridge dedicated for folks to store milk if they are chest feeding on campus. That is also available to guests. We also have relationships with both Think Tank and the Thrive Center to either refer folks to tutors or connect them to a Thrive Center peer mentor in our space. And then we have free homework printing, computers that students can use if they need a device to do homework. And then we'll go to the next slide because I think this is a cool resource for academic advisors to know about. FORCE stands for Feminists Organized to Resist, Create, and Empower. And it is an organization that has history dating back to the 90s and currently receives its budget from student government. But we're actually affiliated with a number of academic departments on campus for students to receive up to 3 units for participating in this as an internship. We have folks from Eller, from public health, from psychology. So it really is an adaptable space for students to learn more about feminism, about organizing, grant writing, and things like that. And then we'll go to the next one. This is how you can get a hold of us. So we're really active on Instagram and also send a newsletter out once a week. And the website link that I shared in the chat has some really cool programs coming up that I think touches on the work that everyone so far has talked about. So anyone is welcome to come join us at these programs, even if you yourself are not a student. And then FORCE is also very active on Instagram if you wanted to refer students and they're looking for an intersectional feminist community. Our space is the space on campus that serves women, femme, trans, non-binary, and two-spirit students. And so you can also just send folks up here if they have questions about navigating those identities on a college campus. Myself and our director, Kim Dominguez, can help them send emails to staff, get referrals for free CAPS appointments if they're looking for mental health support in their offices. And we just know a lot of really cool places on campus. So we also sometimes send them to all of you if you have a resource that we don't have up here. And we would love to connect with you and maybe see you at some of our programs in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. And maybe pull up.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Max Lim. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the site-based counselor for the Asian Pacific American Student Affairs.
And I'm Kenny Importante. I use he, him, his pronouns. I serve as the director for APASA. The Asian Pacific American Student Affairs is one of the 7 cultural resource centers here on campus. We are also located on the 4th floor across the hallway from the Women and Gender Resource Center and the LGBTQ+ Resource Center. And as far as if you're wondering how big is the APIDA or Asian Pacific Islander, DAISY or South Asian American students here on campus, there's about 11% based on the information that was given to us earlier in August through SSRI. Again, think of it as it's a home away from home for many of our students. And the most important thing also is, yes, everyone is welcome to the center. However, we do focus on the experiences of our Asian American, Pacific Islander, DAISY American students. We do also support a lot of the student organizations affiliated with APASA. And so as you think about, or when you meet with students that is having some transitional kind of questions to the campus university, please refer them to the center, APASA, but also many of the student organizations that allows for the students to be to gather from being able to socialize with other community groups as well. Many programs do take place at the center. I won't necessarily name them because many of our colleagues have already shared it from the cultural resource centers. But I guess one of the things that is really important for us is whenever there is a student that is having issues, come talk to us either with the director or the embedded counselor. One of the unique ways that really students from the past really ask for making sure that there are spaces like this, and from the MSUA list of demands from 2016 and the COBA list of demands from 2020, many of those resources really do exist because of what the students wanted from previous years. Lots of event again. And then the last slide that we have for you all is, Max, you want to share a little bit about your embedded counselor role?
Yeah, no worries. Before I do that, I just want to touch base. We do have our faculty and staff Fridays every third Friday of the month. So you're welcome. I think the next one's happening next Friday at 12 o'clock at our center. Again, on the 4th floor of the Student Union. So all of you are welcome to come introduce yourselves, get to know the students on a more personal level as well. And then, like I said, I'm one of 8 site-based counselors here at the university. So our job, again, was created based on student demands. I'm very thankful for that. But more importantly, what we do is we are embedded into these sites, right? So I'm over at APASA. I have other colleagues at the other cultural resource center. So our job is to really break down the stigma of accessing mental health. So we do a lot of community building. Part of my role every day is one, not to only just provide individual sessions, but conduct mental health wellness presentations. I like to talk to the students outside of the therapy room as well. So oftentimes I'll go out and just chat with the students just to get to know them. The students have called it Max's fishing for clients. I tell them, it's the supply and demand thing, I gotta get numbers for my job to keep me in place. So it's fun that way. So yeah, even though I'm housed at the cultural center, if you have any students of any ethnicity, any race, you can send them my way. What I would encourage you all to do is have the students go to a CAPS website, go to, what's it called? Like meet the CAPS counselors, and then find one that, really that they identify with, or like a specialty area, and then go see that specific counselor. Again, my services are free. All these site-based services are free, but if let's say they want to see someone at CAPS North or CAPS South, we do have assistance funds they can always ask for to cover the cost. So cost should not be an issue to receive mental health sessions. Again, we do provide like short-term brief therapy, so that's one thing to note. But if they ever need help accessing care, longer-term care in the community, we do have our care coordinators, and they can make a resource and referral appointment online to meet with them, and they can help them, find those community providers, even call and set up the appointments for them as well, if that's a barrier for them. If you know students who are applying for access, you can call our care coordinators, and they can help you with those applications as well. What else? And yeah, again, our services are free. In order to make an appointment, just go online. There's a form on the website for the site-based counselors in our profiles that they can fill out, and then we'll reach out to them. Anything that I missed? But I think that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Wow, that was amazing. So now we have concluded the Student Services Information Workshop. I should have thought of a better name, a shorter name. But thank you so much. Thank you to all our presenters that showed up, helping our academic advisors support our students. Thank you to all our advisors and community partners that showed up so that we can form a stronger, better, well-informed Wildcat community for everyone involved. I look forward to hearing from all of you. I will be sending out an email with the slides. That way you can go ahead and click on the links if you have to. I'll include an evaluation so that you can let me know what you'd like to see. I would really like this event to grow and support everyone. So give me your feedback. Let me know how we can improve it for next year. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.